Hello and welcome to this new video on my channel. Hope you are enjoying all my videos on the channel. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you can get notification for the new video. Hello and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Fabric. And in today's video, we are going to discuss some recently released activities and some important activities which you should be knowing in pipelines. To do so, I'm going to jump onto Microsoft Fabric. I'm here on Microsoft Fabric using app.powerbi.com, which is also the Power BI experience. Here I will open my workspace, my common workspace, by clicking on left hand side workspaces and searching for my workspace 01-GA Fabric. Let me click on that. My workspace is open. Let me create a new pipeline. On the left top, I'm going to click on new item. And once I click on that, I'll get all the items which I can create on my right hand side. I can search for pipeline and click on that to create a pipeline. It will ask for a name. I can give a name, new activity. If needed, I can assign a task also. You will find most of the new UIs are coming with assign a task. So while creating itself, you can assign them a task. Let me click on create. It will be created in this workspace without any folder below it. Now, once I create the pipeline, I can add an activity. So I can start by adding one of the activities which I wanted to talk with you. So one of the activity which came very recently on the scrolling you will find is the refresh SQL endpoint preview. So let me click on that. And now we got a refresh SQL endpoint. When you click on this activity, you will see the name which you can provide, description which you can provide, activity state activated means I can deactivate if I don't want to use it, retries that if it fails, do you want to retry it? And then there are advanced properties like after how much time you should do retry. But we are interested in settings, and in settings, first of all, you need to create a connection. To do that, you can use browse all or use dynamic content, and we'll click on browse all. What kind of connection do we need here? We need Fabric SQL endpoint metadata, and we will create a connection. Here, you only have option for organizational account as of now, but we should very soon get workspace identity and service principal. As you know, most of the connection in the pipeline now supports those things. Let's click on sign on. It will open a pop-up where it will ask for my login information, and once I provide that, it will come back. I can change the connection name if needed and then click on connect to complete the connection setup. Once I get this information, I can select my workspace. Here I want to use this workspace only. Then we typically use it for lake houses like Lake 01. I have a lake house. Now, why do we need this activity? So I'll tell you my experience based on which I'm thinking this activity has been provided. Now, Lakehouse is Spark driven. SQL Analytics endpoint is basically catching up on all the things which you are doing on the Lakehouse. So SQL Analytics endpoint is not Spark native, T-SQL endpoint basically. It need to be provided that information, or it need to refresh itself time and again whenever something change at the Lakehouse level, because Lakehouse is Spark native. Now sometime it happens, we have experienced this problem in the past, that the things have changed in the Lakehouse. We are able to see them in Spark SQL PySpark, but we are not seeing those changes in SQL Analytics endpoint. It is really important for us if we are using a Lakehouse warehouse combination or a combination where we want to use SQL to query the data. And this delay can cause the issues. So that is why we now have an activity which will force the refresh of the SQL Analytics endpoint. Also, you get an additional option here, recreate tables. When set true, this property instructs the system to drop and recreate all the tables in SQL Analytics endpoint during the refresh process. Now, why do we need this option? Now, sometime what happens, your SQL Analytics endpoint will get corrupted. And you will see this error only when you go to SQL Analytics endpoint and it starts showing some red color icon and it shows, okay, some tables are corrupted. In such case, you can use this recreate table. What it will do is it will drop and recreate all the tables for SQL Analytics endpoint. So in this manner, it can help you out. So what you can do is once you do this, you can validate it and you can run it. So save and run. I'm just testing it out. I am not having any issue with my metadata as of now. I just wanted to see whether it works or not. So once you run any activity, it will get scheduled immediately. You may see it queued for some time. After that, it will automatically will be showcasing itself here into the activity run. We'll see the activity run automatically shown here, how it is running. And as you can see, SQL Analytics endpoint was refreshing and now got refreshed within 12 seconds. So you can try this activity. One of the thing which I did not try and I would like you to try and test is, does it work for SQL DB to sync SQL Analytics endpoint? I will right click and deactivate this activity and explain you few other activities. For that, I will click on activities. I would like to explain you one new activity which has also came very recently. Click on three dots ellipsis icon at the end and scroll down. You will see one more activity which is Lakehouse maintenance. Now, as you know, Lakehouse tables may require a little bit of maintenance. The reason for that, these are Spark tables and you have few options to optimize the performance of these tables. Again, we can provide a name, description and data options, but we are more interested in settings. Again, you need to create a connection. I'm already using existing connection Lakehouse. Now, sometime your existing connection from past may not work. So in such cases, you may would like go ahead and edit those connections and provide the credentials again. You can also check out option of creating a new connection. Let me click on update so that it updates the connection. Now I can choose a lake house, I can choose lake 01, I can choose a schema. Let me select the only schema I have here, DBO. And then the table names, whatever tables I have like item, brand, etc. Then I have options like run optimization. What does it do? Recognize and compact the files to improve the read performance and reduce small file overhead. So basically it is there to improve your read performance. So it will create the bigger files which will optimize that. Run vacuum. Run vacuum deletes the past files, the specified retention period and reclaim the storage. So as you know that lake houses have a very long retention period. Now we can decide how much long retention period we want. Typically, you will be forced to keep 7 days of retention period. So you can say, I want to minimum have 7 days of retention period. Now I can have that and I can click on that. Again, I can save this and I can test it out for the run. Click on run, it will ask save and run. So I for a just very small table, there is something invalid here. Retention value is invalid. Let's provide. Let's review the format first. So 7 colon 00 colon 00 colon 00. And now let's try it out. Run, save and run. Let's see, is it valid now? It is already showing that Lakehouse maintenance is fixed. We are expecting this to appear into the run area very soon. It is already queued. We should see one activity which is deactivated, already finished. And then second activity, the maintenance activity in progress. Now I do not have any history, but the way to check it out is basically you go to your lake house and I'll go to my lake 01 into the workspace, and in the lake house whatever table you have used, so I have used the item table, you can go here and look for view files, and there is any old file then it should have been removed. I don't think I've changed it after I loaded it, so there might not be any cleanup, but you can expect that to happen here. Now, the other activities which I want like you to explore, which you should also remember that you have, and the importance of that is basically this semantic model refresh activity. Very important activity. Again, the general information which you need, including the retry and settings. First, you have to select a connection. So you need a Power BI dataset connection. So if you click on browse all, it will show you what kind of connection you need. Power BI semantic model connection. Again, you can click and provide the information. I have already created one, so I'm going to leave that out. And then workspace and the semantic model name. I've created a new connection, and I'll just tell you that when my connection was old, it was not showing me the tables. So I have actually just updated my connection. After that, started showing the table here. It should show table, otherwise it will fail. and then you can decide what how many number of tables you wanted to refresh. You can select one, and inside the table even you have option to select partitions. But actually I just wanted to refresh the entire semantic model, or maybe I can go ahead and refresh only one small table just for the showcase, but I already tested it with all the tables. Now why do we need semantic model refresh? See, especially for direct click, like import mode semantic model, definitely you need refreshes, and you can have an activity in your pipeline. Now for direct click, you might be asking why should we do that? Now sometime what happens in direct click semantic model, we stop the auto refresh. Again, just like SQL Analytics endpoint, semantic model is not Spark native. So it need to catch up with the new files which has been changed. Now it does it automatically, but you can switch it off from the settings. And if you switch it off, you can refresh it here. Or maybe, my model is pretty heavy, a lot of tables are there, and it may not get refreshed. So I can force a refresh. That's one way. Or usually I prefer the settings at the setting level, I usually keep it off, and then I refresh it from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where you actually switch it off. We'll go to the workspace 01-ga fabric, and there I'll search for the semantic models. And in the semantic model, let me look at this semantic model, the new SM refresh which we have there. Click on the three dots and go here for the settings. Now inside the setting, if you go down, you will see this refresh. And here there is an option, keep your direct lake data up to date. Why we switch it off? That basically what happens, your lake may be changing multiple times in a day. Some tables, let's say dimension table change first, and then there is a change happening in one fact, second fact, third fact. Sometime you may like that all these changes are not reflected to the end user. They should not be aware. They should be only aware when things are happening. What could happen, like the table get changed little bit, and immediately this things, semantic model may catch up. Let's say I truncate a table and then load it. So all those things we don't want user to be aware of. So in such cases we can switch it off. If we do this and apply, then semantic model will not refresh. Now if the semantic model will not refresh, then how do we refresh it? And that is where we use this activity. So now let me do one thing. So let me deactivate the Lakehouse activity and only run the semantic model refresh activity. Let me click on run. It will ask me to save the semantic model. I'll use save and run. I am this time only refreshing one table, but in the past I have tested with more than one table also. Again, in the bottom, soon my new pipeline run will appear, and we will be able to see two deactivated activities and then the run for the semantic model refresh. Now you understand why these different activities are important and where you can use them. So you have to try them out. Before I end this video, I'll also tell you about one more activity which has come. And those who are using Microsoft Business Intelligence for long, they would be happy to see that activity. So let it get refreshed and I'll show you that activity. Now don't go by the time it is taking at my end. I'm using a very small capacity F4. So sometime it is shared between users. So it's not truly reflecting the time. Now let's go back to the activities. And here I would like to showcase you one activity, invoke SSIS packages. So if you are running SSIS package and you want to invoke it, you now have an activity for that, and you have the settings for that. You need to actually go and connect with that. So that is the one activity, SSIS packages, parameter connection manager and properties. And there are various other activities which keep on adding. You can always come to this place and find out those activities. And some activities keep on getting upgrade, like we see Office, email, and Teams. Microsoft Teams got an upgrade. We have legacy here. It means the older one. So if you are using those older activities, my advice would be go ahead and update to the newer one. I have showcased you now what are the activities available. So why don't you go ahead and try all these new activities out, and do let me know what else you want me to cover in this particular series. Thanks for watching this particular video. Thank you. Keep watching, keep asking questions in comment, press the bell icon so that you can get notification of my new videos. Thanks for watching this particular video. Thank you.